Good afternoon. I'm Tom Carter, the Director of Endorsement, and my partner is Bruce Fenner, the Director of Extension Ministry and Pastoral Care. It's our pleasure to be able to present this afternoon information on Extension Ministry and Endorsement. As you look at the slide before you, it is important to understand that each board of ordained ministry must include a member who has been appointed to Extension Ministry. That person will bring experience to the board for those who may be seeking approval for Extension Ministry appointments. The link between the endorsing agency and endorsing agent is that there is a registered person with the federal government who is the only person who can actually endorse or speak for the United Methodist Church in relationship to endorsed settings. This is primarily for government agencies like the military, the Bureau of Prisons, or the Veterans Administration, because those agencies require an ecclesiastical endorsement prior to being able to hire the individuals. Certifying bodies such as the American Association of Pastoral Counseling or the Association of Professional Chaplains also requires endorsement prior to board certification, which is required by many employers. Annual reports are very important for the annual conference as well as for the United Methodist Endorsing Agency. We ask that each individual send us a copy that they send to the bishop or to the conference. And that report would include the narrative where we ask that they share at least one vignette as an example of their ministry, also the cover of the report, and then a copy of their evaluation from their supervisor. The appointment categories you see before you, and we work with individuals who are seeking to serve in approximately 23 different endorsed settings. So deacons are appointed to Extension Ministries or ABLC, appointment beyond the local church, under paragraph 331.1a. Elders that we work with are appointed under paragraph 344.1.b. And then we also provide ecclesiastical approval for licensed local pastors, and that's under paragraph 316. The other paragraphs, the other categories under 344.1, the appointment of elders, would include category A, where individuals do have an annuity claim against the United Methodist Church. Paragraph C is for missionaries, and paragraph D covers all other valid ministries. When you begin to look at the number of individuals who are presently endorsed, we have 1,600 plus United Methodist clergy endorsed for the 23 diverse settings, plus volunteers who work with police departments, fire departments. They're included in that category. Bruce Fenner and I recently visited all 13 United Methodist seminaries, plus 6 others where the predominant enrollment are United Methodist. And as we visited there, we found that many of them are not really planning to serve in the local church. In those visits, we had 400 people attend our orientations talking about Extension Ministry. When you begin to look at exploring the possibilities for ministry beyond the church walls, many times we have questions in terms of professional preparation or vocational requirements. And we receive calls and we answer these calls, and we would also be willing to provide information to boards of ordained ministry as individuals may be exploring these options. One of the things that often occurs as we interact with individuals who are in the process of going through the Board of Ordained Ministry is the question, should they become a deacon or an elder? And for us, it's really a matter of call and the potential appointment or employment where they plan to serve. We have had individuals tell us that as they are going through the process with their Board of Ordained Ministry, that they are often told or it's suggested they become deacons if they want to serve beyond the church walls. This may be practical for some settings because we do have a number of deacons who are serving in extension ministry or appointments beyond the local church and are doing that very successfully. But there are employers which require the sacramental requirement. That would include any of the federal agencies, military chaplains, the Bureau of Prisons, or Veterans Administration. So we are, like you, still waiting, and by October we'll have an answer in terms of the guaranteed appointment. And I think that really enters in sometimes when boards for ordained ministry are working with individuals around this question of order. A short while ago, Russ Ritchie wrote a book called Extension Ministers, Mr. Wesley's True Heirs. One of the things that often occurs when we talk to people in extension ministry or appointments beyond the local church, when they return to annual conference, they're often asked the question, when are you going to return to ministry? And so I've suggested that they return that question with another question. How many years was it that John Wesley served in the local parish? The answer is 2. He served as a curate for his father at St. Andrews. But in reality, John Wesley spent the majority of his ministry beyond church walls, providing grace and the love of Jesus Christ to many who were in the world, working in the world, or in prison, or in hospitals, and many who are seeking to be appointed to extension ministries are following the footsteps of John Wesley. As you look at the possibility of using this book, Extension Ministers, it's a significant resource for district superintendents or district committees or boards of ordained ministry or board of ordained ministry mentoring groups and working with candidates as they are either discerning their call or looking to find ways to serve beyond church walls. This book is a great example of how that's happened through the history of extension ministry in the United States. The book can be used as a discussion study to explore looking at the leadership possibilities and the mission possibilities. Chapter 5 significantly invites a theological engagement of the Wesleyan quadrilateral, and also it talks about the process of discerning serving in extension ministry settings. Chapter 6 provides a focus or a forum for clergy already serving in such ministries to engage continual theological reflection, integration, and connectivity with the church. It also is important to understand that people who are serving in extension ministry may want to return to the local church, and again, this material gives the ability to discern that theological connection. It might be helpful to include an extension ministry or an ABLC pastor serving outside the church walls in the BOOM orientation, which you've heard about earlier in this presentation. It's also important to understand that most of the clergy returning from extension ministry or ABLC settings have extensive training as well as skills as clergy and can find their place in the annual conference and be a great resource. Again, looking at the possibilities, it's important to understand that district committees as well as district superintendents may want to include clergy who are serving in an extension ministry or specialized setting to help with the discernment process. Even possibility of visiting some of those sites like hospitals or prisons. So those who are seeking to pursue ministry beyond the church walls will be able to see examples of this. And in the area of mentoring and coaching, again, mentoring groups may find it helpful to integrate and endorse clergy in some of those mentoring process groups, at least for a special presentation, again, being able to share what it's like to serve in those kinds of settings. And again, looking at discernment as a lifelong process, it's important that as people are looking at returning to the local church that they be involved in looking at what it means to come back to the local church having served in the extension ministry setting for a number of years. I'm going to share next with you some of the resources that are available through the United Methodist Endorsing Agency. These will be for download, and the first one is why endorsement. The basic reasons are that the federal government and employers and certifying bodies require endorsement before they can be hired or certified, and that's an important step for those seeking to work beyond the church walls. Also, it provides an opportunity for those who are in extension ministry settings to connect with others in the same setting. We have ways of connecting folks who may be working as pastoral counselors or hospice chaplains, and it's an ideal way to connect with others in those settings. We also see it as accountability in terms of those serving outside conference bounds, that the endorsement process and the support we provide really is important for those who often think that they're out there on their own or alone and nobody cares. We also provide continuing education, and we provide that with certified CEUs, and those are required of all clergy, and we provide those opportunities for those who are endorsed. And then there is a supplemental pension grant fund for those who are not provided an annuity by their employer, and this can be a real asset for those who are serving beyond church walls. The endorsement process includes an application. We send out reference requests to the bishop, DS, and 2 others. We have a face-to-face interview with the individuals who are seeking endorsement. We do this 3 times a year, and the cost of that process is borne by GBHEM. Once a person has been endorsed, we notify the bishop as well as the DS, and we ask the same information if there are issues that occur that we may not be aware of, so we can work cooperatively with each annual conference. We also provide for accountability through regular contact, annual reports, and we have a volunteer visitor program where the goal is that we have visitors spend a little time with each of those who are endorsed in the 4-year quadrennium period. And then the ecclesiastical approval process is for, again, volunteers, Civil Air Patrol, police, fire, chaplains, and it's a short application, and then we send a reference request to the DS. And the last piece of information is relatively new, which is a flyer that covers the relationship between an endorsed United Methodist chaplain and the employer. It's basically to clarify responsibilities on both sides. I appreciate this opportunity to share the information today, and if you have any questions at all, you can look at the contact information on this page, and please give us a call or send us an email, and we will look forward to serving you and providing information as needed.